All right, welcome back, everybody, to the glorious day of North American Challenge League Season 2. I am Ega. Joining me here is going to be Malphus X for 7 Wars Lyon, taking on Cloud9, HyperX, Tempest, and should be fun. Malphus is here. We're in champion picks and bans and select. How you doing, Malphus?
I'm good. It's just HyperX. I'm going to say that every time I hear anyone say HyperX. I'm going to say it's just HyperX.
Cloud9, Kingston, HyperX, Tempest, Vortex.
Vortex? I'm just getting as many cool sounded words that have an X in them in there.
Epiphany.
Xylophone.
Alright, so first two bands coming through are going to be that Nilly and Renekton, while Lulu and Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix we're probably going to see banned pretty much every game, with everybody discovering how OP the evolving of the ultimate is first.
Yes. Basically, it's a total of 6 seconds of stealth, right? You get 2 seconds per activation, you get 3 activations. Mm-hmm. You get bonus move speed, 50% damage reduction, and free activation of your passive. It's a lot of utility, and it kind of makes up for everything that you don't get by evolving one of the others. So it's kind of the all-in-one in and of itself, and makes him really, really tanky against burst mages in the mid lane, which are really, really popular. He's really, really good right now.
All right, and Rise. Going to be banned away from Elimination there, as Renekton and Rise were probably two of the most dominant top laners, or well, Rise is going to be the up-and-coming one, so they're just going to just take it out of the game. Also, there's something fun with Heimerdinger being disabled here for some maintenance being done to him, because his Q, it's supposed to give you 1 charge every 20-something seconds, but instead of that, it gives you all 3 when you do end up leveling it, so it's pretty crazy, pretty buggy.
Yeah. Heimer, he seems really, really strong on this patch. Like the buff to the beam was just really, really, really potent. All of a sudden, it's just like nuking people down, and you don't always expect the damage output unless you play a lot of Heimerdinger. Which, let's be honest, I think the only person that plays a lot of Heimerdinger is like Dan and Freak. I think they're like the only 2 people that play a lot of Heimerdinger. So he's kind of powerful right now.
All right, so the first pick going to be that Pantheon for most likely Thiak in the jungle, while Cloud9 lock in Gleblaru's Thresh and possibly Caitlyn for Altec there. So looking for a very strong bot lane combination already.
And this is nothing new. We've seen Gleblaru on Thresh. We've certainly seen Altec playing Caitlyn. Very, very strong lane. Lots of good long-range harass. Lots of good lane control as well. The CC from Thresh, plus the traps, plus the lane push power of Caitlyn. It's really, really easy to get the early level 2. And with a composition like Thresh Caitlyn, it's really easy to abuse that level 2 once you have it.
Alright, so we'll see if that comes out into effect while Lyon, excuse me. I was looking at LM Porky. I was like, that's not LMQ. What is this? But we're looking to see possibly a response to that bot lane. It could be Lucian Annie or Lucian Leona. Pretty strong there. Or Ian could go for that Sivir. We've seen him play quite a bit of Sivir, actually.
What's it going to be?
I don't know.
Nunu. Olaf. Come on.
Rumble? I like Rumble. I want to see more Rumble.
I want to see mid lane Olaf. I want that to be a thing. I have no reason for why I would.
You have to run to go pick it up and get harassed instantly.
Nah. You just farm on champions, that's all. Reckless swing. Hello, squishy mid laner mage.
Oh god. But what if they build Thorin Shield or like a Ruby Crystal or something? Then what?
Then you just farm. And you go get Raze. You go get Raze a lot. Because you get to walk through Raze to go pick up your axe. Ho-ho.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you see how that goes? In any case, it's going to be Lucian Annie down to the bottom lane. Good harass, good poke. Do you think Lucian Annie can take Thresh Caitlyn in the early levels?
Oh, it's really back and forth. It depends on who gets the burst, and if Annie goes to that Spell Thief's Edge, or like a Doran's Ring start for some extra damage on top. But in the long sustained battle, I kind of want to give it to Annie Lucian, but Altec, he's going to kite away, he's going to dodge away from as much as possible, and I'm pretty sure Gleblaru knows how to flay and shield him if anything crazy goes down.
Alright, this could be pretty fun here. We got the Ziggs locked in for the mid lane, and it's going to be Shyvana top lane here. It's going to be the decision for Yazuki, aka Lomo Nation. Now we're just waiting for the final couple of picks from the side of Lyon. And we need both our solo laners right now. Based on what we see so far.
Poppy. Aww.
Somewhere in Jersey, Optimus Tom is crying into a pillow.
He just heard us on the cast like, huh? What was that?
I sense a dark disturbance in the force.
He just wakes up from a deep slumber, just rises. Poppy, where?
No,
But,
it's not a deep slumber. It's a fitful sleep, but he's like sweating into his pillow. And he gets like he wakes up.
you just see his mom coming to him and is like, what's going on, Tom? Poppy, he's being picked in the NACL. But it's gonna be Porky getting Zach, and it's gonna be LeBlanc for Saya in the mid lane, while the final pick coming in will be that Elise and Ziggs for Cloud9.
This is very interesting. I haven't seen Zach in quite some time that he hasn't been played as part of a Yasuo composition. So this is interesting. He picked this into the Shyvana. He knew what his lane opponent was going to be, and he decided, you know what? I know I'm going against Shyvana this lane. I'm going to take a Zach, and we'll see how it works for him.
Should be interesting. I'm wondering how exciting this game is going to be. You know, Zach does do quite a bit of damage. We've seen Porky build him kind of tanky-ish with some AP in there, maybe Abyssal or something. We'll see. We're going to be going into the last bit of the countdown here for the spectator delay. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break as well as a little sponsor plug, as you can check them out all down below. There's Loot Crate, $13, 37 cents a month. You get a nice little crate delivered to your door of the latest Gamer Geek swag apparel and goodies. The Attack on Titanfall one is done, unfortunately. I like saying that, but it's going to be a new shirt for the next month. So check it out and get the updates on that one. And then there's Phoenix Peripherals. You can check them out at phoenixcollection.com. They have some of the best and greatest keyboards, mice, mouse pads, and headsets on the market that you can find. And then there's Low Class and Monster Cat, Malphus.
Yeah, you guys can check it out at lawclass.com. You can sign up for a group lesson with some of your favorite League of Legends professionals. Currently, 6 teams from the North American LCS are part of LawClass, so you can check out all the offerings we have coming on for the next couple of months. There will be a giveaway going on pretty soon. We don't have all the details for that quite ready, but do check it out. And big shout out to Monster Cat as well for providing some of the music we'll be using in our production tonight. They're big fans of everything that we do here at the NACL, and also dear, dear friends of ours. I've never met any of them, but I would certainly buy anyone who said I work for Monster Cat a beer. So thankfully, I don't think anyone from Monterey is currently listening to this, or they could totally abuse that the next time that I was out at a bar.
Oh, God. All right. So with that, we go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have 7 Wars Lyon taking on Cloud9 Tempest.
reaching out. Rainbow Road.
A summoner has reconnected.
There is no place and no moment in history where I could stand and say, arithmetic begins here, now.
Rainbow Road.
Alright, and welcome back here for Game 1 of the North American Challenger League Season 2. I'm Ega, joining me here is going to be Malphus X for 7 Wars Lyon, taking on Cloud9, HyperX, Tempest, and we're on the Rift. Everybody's going out, and I don't see any unusual items or anything crazy.
No, this is pretty standard coming out here. A couple extra points in utility here for Sayas, who's going to have some biscuits coming out of the lane. But apart from that, it's, yeah, business as usual. Doran's shield for the top laners, despite the nerfs. I almost was expecting Lomo Nation to go with the Blade instead to try to dominate the early matchup here against Zac. Maybe, do you feel like maybe he's not as comfortable playing against Zac, doesn't know what to expect, given how long it's been since we've seen him?
I guess. Doran's Blade isn't too bad in some matchup, but you know, you do want the extra survivability, or the sustain, excuse me, from the Doran shield. An extra, 6 health per 5 is pretty good. But it's mostly magic damage that comes out of Porky, so could see an early, Visage or Banshee's Veil, if anything, from Lomo Nation. I'm surprised that we don't see any aggressive invades coming out with the wards being only being able to drop at 1 minute and 55 seconds. So I'm surprised teams haven't already devised comps around that. And also, this is the nerfed release. I want to see how our damage is.
Yeah, we did see at least a couple games yesterday, and it certainly was noticeable, the damage decrease, but it wasn't anything that really got in the way of Elise doing her job. Elise is still Elise, and probably always will be until they decide to change her name, which hopefully will not be anytime soon.
Very true. And everybody just spreading out the 5 points. We're going to see Altec and Googlebarber get to that lane. Probably look for an early shove to get that early level 2. While Bishu and Saya just taunting back and forth there. And as the wave comes, the mutual agreement to taunt ends, and they'll go to harassing. While it's going to be a blue buff start for Thiak and a red buff start for Kez.
Alright, so Thiak gonna grab this one up for himself. The junglers are starting on the same side of the map, so they decide to go aggressively. They could find themselves going aggressive with both junglers present, and it either be a 3v3 or a 2v2. A lot of this is going to depend on the ward coverage once people do start dropping out their early totems, exactly to try to spot out the junglers and kind of figure where their early aggression is going to be targeted.
Alright, looks like a lot of aggression under Azul though. Getting chunked down to half, or see one of those biscuits, so that Caitlyn damage coming into effect, as well as he got Flay a little earlier on in that lane. You see the auto attacks coming in, so the Flay passive auto damage just chunking through when it does get fully stacked there. Put the Peacemakers from Altec just connecting, and it's pretty harass heavy lane from both sides there.
So we see up in the top lane, Yasuki does hit level 2 first. Porky took that W as his first skill just to get a little bit of extra lane push and also apply a little bit of early pressure knowing he's against a melee champion. And now he's got the Q, so he's going to have a decent amount of harass. So we'll see how that lane kind of ends up shaping up. That's kind of the one that I'm most interested in watching just because of the fact that we don't get to see as much Zac as I would like, because he's a fun champion to watch.
Yeah, he is very fun. Let's bounce. He can slingshot from enormous distances, cross over, Dragon Pit. We do have a little bit of a counter-jungling attempt straight from Kez, but the Ag responds, takes out the little wraiths, and leaves the big one. Spite's not up for either of them, though. Seiya was looking to go down, but Bishu was like, I will follow you, if anything, and slaps him in the face with a bouncing bomb. As pinks are still coming out, looks like the blue wraith is going to be ignored out there, and, Thiak going to keep it safe for another day, or maybe actually bait it. He drops the ward over the wall. Sees Kez, and Bishu's kind of coming around the side, maybe looking to help him steal it. Alright, so Thiak gives up on that objective.
And this is really good. At least being able to kind of exert early pressure and take away some resources from Pantheon in the early game is excellent. Pantheon's a very, very strong early jungler, so the fact that Kez is in a situation where he feels comfortable just kind of living in the opposing jungle is a very, very good thing for Cloud9 Tempest here early on.
Yep, and now Kez not giving up on that pressure there, but that's the nerf damage coming into effect. He blocks out some of the auto attacks, gonna slow him with the red buff, get the stun out, blocks another auto attack, Flash Dasher comes in, but the Act Flash is behind it, and will get bounced back out there. There is the chain connecting onto Bishu, but that'll be it for that aggression. They do trade Bishu's Flash for the Axe Flash, and I'm pretty sure he knows that he's gonna try to gank that lane now with that summoner cooldown down.
Absolutely, yeah. This is like Pantheon, one of the things that makes him so good is his early ganking potential, the fact that he has a targeted stun and a lot of good damage output. So being able to kind of tie him up with these jungle evasions, stuff like that, takes away one of the things that he does best, as Glebe Glabru goes forward for a really disadvantageous trade.
Yeah, taking down a half there, taking a bunch of damage, and looking like Porky actually leaping in, but he's trying to pick up the bloblets, but it's not really healing him up as much as he would like. Altec takes a turret shot, looking to see Ner'zhul harass back on out there. Is he maxing Q? Yeah, he's going for Q max. So no Molten Shield yet. Just looking for straight up raw damage, chunking away at Altec and Glebe Glabru. While a ping comes in on mid lane, they're looking for Bishu. Are they going to actually dive this? Wow, they do! They force the barrier. Ignite comes out. The chain goes through. The Axe like, I'm not going to tank this turret. I do not want to die. And even with the low mana Bishu, they give up, but they do get the rest of his summoners.
Yeah, that's really, really solid. Being able to get the barrier down. That's going to open up kill pressure for Seiya once he hits level 6, which is one of the things that LeBlanc does really well in this matchup, and it can be taken away by having that barrier. Seeing Ignite actually goes down in the top lane, but Porky, he's just going to charge up the Elastic Slingshot and get himself back out.
Alright, and I'm wondering what is he going to buy. He has 970 gold. Looking for possibly a Negatron Cloak. Looks like a little bit of lag coming in from Cloud9 side. Kez did DC, and everyone's like, what's going on? He's standing in the middle of the lane right now, so it looks like he just disconnected and walked straight mid.
I love that just like the questioning. Bro, are you okay? Is
Hello?
everything okay? Do you have anything you need to tell me? Do you need to talk?
He can't even type in chat because he's disconnected, so the struggle is even more real.
Oh man, he basically he's in the League of Legends version of a Como right now. His body is present, but his mind is not able to interact with the world around him. But he can't get hit by a bus, which would be dying to creeps. This analogy is getting kind of strange, so we should probably move on.
Apparently, Cortez's whole neighborhood just went out of power during the NACL game. Tweets at Bishu lol. So, I wonder.
Ruh-roh.
Right, bro.
Rito, please. Get on your
neighborhood,
management of
please.
the power of the power grid. We can still blame our riot overlords for this, easily.
Apparently, there's going to be a what? Bishu's saying that they need to take a 15-minute break because Kez's neighborhood's power went out. So that's something that really no one can control, except Mother Nature. But I think they said okay, so Seiya said it was okay from the side of Lyon. We're gonna have to ask an admin here and find things out. We could drop some funky beats for you guys though while we wait. So,
Back in my day, we used to have like pedals under our computer, and that was how you powered your computer. You would be biking the whole time you were gaming. That was back, 70 years ago when the very first processing chips were being developed. So all I'm saying is kids these days don't even know how good they got it. Shameful.
Very shameful. We were hard workers back then. But yeah, I think we're just gonna toss into some music, wait for Kez's neighborhood to get situated and himself to get situated. So we'll be back when we know more. So enjoy the music. Welcome back to we're about 5 minutes into, the first game of the NACL here. It's going to be Lyon Gaming, if you forgot. I'm taking on Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. And I'm Egan, and joining me here is going to be Malphus as Kez had a little bit of a power outage, but he's back.
Yeah, his invasion of the jungle was so strong that the power company decided to shut it down themselves, just so that the could have a little bit of free time to farm. But sadly, we're on to his tactics, his schemes. You can't do that. And we're getting back in the game. And I'm going to stop rambling now. Yeah.
Alright, so nothing really happening down there, but there was a double flay coming in. No stun from Nerzulbo as he's just harassing back on out. Ian's going to eat the brunt force of that damage. Does it put the Peacemaker on top of it? No, it does not connect. But Kez looking to make something happen, showing that the DC did not affect him. He's going down into that lane, going to sneak into the brush, and instantly we see Lyon back right on all to that bot lane. As this is going to be a 3-man push to take down the first third of the game.
Yeah, and they definitely, I mean, they've got this. I mean, basically done. Thresh is pretty good at taking down towers. He's got, the ranged attack keeps him relatively safe. Not as good as like Annie, 625 range, pretty strong. I like that they're letting the creeps, as many creeps as possible, die to the tower just to zone them away from the experience on this one as well. So just kind of min-maxing their play. Very, very strong.
All right, and we could see a rotation from that bot lane if they want to like push mid or something now at Zig's pressure, but I think they're going to farm back up because Altec already has that 26 CS lead. The side of Lyon have a little bit of work to do there. And oh, I was actually right before that pause that he was going to pick up a Negatron cloak to deal with the Shyvana up top on that Zac.
That makes a lot of sense. Shyvana's early damage is primarily magic from Flame Breath and then the procs on Flame Breath with your auto attacks combined in with the Burnout. There's some physical damage in there. You get the auto attack and you get the Twin Bite going in as well. So basically a whole bunch of auto attacks. But you're mostly concerned with the magic damage. And with Zac, I think there's even a chance that he might rush in for like a really early Spirit Visage just because of how strong the increased regeneration it heals himself as much as Zac does.
Yeah. So looks like another pause to come in here, but from Lyon's side. And should be very interesting. But there's only 10 minutes left on this pause timer. People need to be very careful on how long they keep this pause. But BF swords for both ADCs, so looking for some damage there. A little bit of extra damage for longsword in Altec. The presume comes through, and we'll be back underway. As I feel like the Axe gonna possibly wait till 6 silly ganks.
Possible. If he does do so, I mean, the Pantheon ult is obviously one of the best ganking tools in the game. You just drop in behind the bottom lane. If he decides to do that to this bottom lane, though, you do have to be careful, because Thresh can always just separate himself from the carry and then make you choose. And if you go for Thresh, then the carry's just going to walk out. Thresh pretty tanky, so it's not that easy to kill him. If you go for the carry, he just drops the Lantern. You don't end up getting anything in either situation. So this is probably, arguably, one of the best lanes to have against the Pantheon, really.
And Porky getting shoved on in there by that Shyvana. Blue buff gets tossed over to Bishu, as both mid laners now have their respective blues. A little bit of a deep ward coming in on that Wraith side for Seiya, as he was looking for some pressure there. You see Illumination just step on one of the blobs and be like, nope, no healing for you. And that's one of the nerfs that Zac received, and we saw him like filter out just a little bit, because those blobs getting taken out early on like that really makes it hard to sustain. While double distortion comes into that mid lane, not able to actually fully clear it out. But here comes the man drop on top of Altec. Will they find the stun? They do end up finding it, but he's able to 90 caliber net away and pull the Lantern, while Thiak takes a bunch of damage.
And that's the other part of it too, is that Caitlyn can just drop a trap right in the middle of the Grand Skyfall and then 90 caliber net away. And then Pantheon is going to get locked up, rooted up, and won't be in range for the stun. So it's really good kit against the Pantheon. You see that his first ultimate of the game is used to no effect. Won't be able to stall out this push. And Cloud9 HyperX Tempest gonna take down 2 towers here, which is gonna be good for a little over a 2,000 gold advantage here in the very early game. And it looks like they're gonna try to push in and take down this dragon as well.
Possibly. We could see a bit of a contest on it if Thiak can get over there in time. But he went back to base, he healed up, and that'll be the end of that dragon, as that'll be, Cloud9's first dragon. They get 2 turrets, a dragon on top of it, and now that was only a 700 gold dragon too, mind you. It was a very, very early game dragon. It puts him only at a 2.9k gold lead.
That said, I mean, it's still pretty significant when we're coming out here just shy of the 10-minute mark. So the early game is going really in favor of Cloud9, and they've got a lot of good late game things going for them. Ziggs is obviously a terror in the late game. They've got the Shyvana, who's going to get insanely tanky, and if Altec hits that 6-item phase, then Caitlyn's just extremely potent. Seiya is only using the time that he has his distortion still available to just kind of blink back out to clear out that pink ward. He does not want to give Glebe Glarbu an opportunity to go in with the fillet or the hook or anything like that, and he's gonna get hooked anyway.
Alright, so force the flash out of there. Nice hook from Glebe Glarbu, knowing that Seiya really wants to kill that pink ward. He's gonna distort over again, get the auto attack, and finally Secret Agent Seiya picks up that pink ward kill, but at the cost of his flash.
Oh yes. So I mean, flash for 30 gold plus denying vision of a rush, that's completely not at all worth it, not even remotely. But it's just a good play from Glebe Glarbu. It's just a good play from Glebe Glarbu. Oh, another good play as he lands that hook.
Into a cocoon and a flame into the wall, into a trap. That Annie was not going to prom. She got CC chained like crazy, and that'll be the first kill of the game, going over to Altec. And with that 20 CS lead, he's going to be looking really strong in this early game.
All right, this is going to be an interesting question of who's going to scale better into the late game. Zach, known for being extremely tanky and really disruptive. Shyvana, known for being really tanky, fairly disruptive, and having really good damage output. I want to say that this is going to go in favor of Cloud9 Tempest the longer this game goes, for this specifically for this top lane matchup. And the fact that it's already at like a 20 CS gap between the two of them, with Lomo Nation getting the tower pressure down. But we see Grand Skyfall got canceled.
Yeah. So, nothing too bad out of that one. Does cancel, uses a little bit of mana. And there's still that 3.6k gold lead now for the side of Cloud9. And Lyon, really just on the back foot for the most part. So you're going to look for a ward, but eat a bomb for it. It looks for the double distort in. It does find the chain, and the sigil will get the pop and the silence. And the man drop again gets
Another cancel. That was an instantaneous cancel as well.
That was
Alright.
interesting. Now, oh, Flash Cocoon. Saya distorts away. He'll be able to get out of there, and no one else can follow it.
All right, so right now we see it's just people trying to kind of keep themselves safe and pick up their farm. This is looking really good for Cloud9. I don't know any other way to put it. They've got the pressure up in the top lane. You see Lomo Nation's tower has taken all of like 200 damage, and he's been consistently applying pressure and pushing. Now he's going pure proxy farm, and these creeps are dying while this tower goes down to about half of its health. And he's built up the creep lead to about 35 now. And they might even be trying to set up a 3-man action here onto Porky.
Oh, but, you know, he just slingshots himself right out of there. While Ian is 1v1ing outside top bot, just pushing him in, looking for some pressure on the turret. If he can snag up the turret, that helps the team out quite a lot. Outside though, they're both fairly squishy. They both have BF swords, so they can output a bunch of damage. But Altec can look for the safe route and just clear out the wave and farm up a bunch. Some buys coming in. It's gonna be the Cutlass for Lomo Nation. It looks like the Spirit Massage being made up there for Porky. Themes was already completed for Bishu though, so he's actually pretty far. Yeah, he actually is pretty far ahead in this lane.
Yeah, and this is the LeBlanc is going in for the Athenes as well. Which, when you see a LeBlanc go for Athenes, it means you're kind of like recognizing, okay, I'm not really going to have that much kill pressure, and I just want to look to farm and get a lot of farm. So this is, I mean, that's not. I mean, it's a different style of playing LeBlanc. It seems like the most effective style of LeBlanc we played is like that DFG rush and just go kill everybody. But we're not going to have the opportunity to see that game. Saya still will have enough damage to make good big plays happen and burst down some low health targets. But Porky getting dived up in the top lane.
Alright, so able to just slingshot through the cocoon. There's a man drop coming in down bodies, looking for a target. He does not cancel it this time. There is the death sentence underneath the turret to hook him. Ignite comes out, and that'll definitely pick up the kill as Glower finds that one. And that was a really questionable dive. Saya was behind the turret too, but he did not make it in time. So the act kind of just jumping in for free, like, hello, guys? Respond?
That was just a little bit the communication kind of like a misfire there, right? It's the team-wide equivalent of misclicking a skill. You get a little bit ahead of the rest of your team, and you don't have the immediate backup that you're expecting to go when you go for a really crazy aggressive play like that. Pantheon's really good at diving the tower, and he drew all of that focus, and it took longer to kill him than it reasonably should have. So if the LeBlanc was there as well, and they had to just turn instead of trying to deal damage to him, that could have very easily turned the other way. But again, just being a little bit too early can make all the difference.
Man, the ganks for Theak right now, really, they're really a good thought, but it's just like not working out in his favor. Well, Porky now forced to flash over the wall, will get repelled on, and Dragon's descented on. Gonna get knocked back, and there is the little bloblets coming in. The minigame comes down, and he'll pick up the kill.
Oh, Kez doesn't have a smite. He doesn't have a smite. I was hoping he would kill it with the smite. That's always the most fun.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Ner'zhul, gonna get flash timbers. 2-member. Oh, no. All right. Glover doesn't stop his back. Looks for the flash timbers.
Oh.
Altec with a great response there with his own flash to dodge away. Looking for some damage to come out. Theak is still chasing this one out. Ner'zhul's gonna face tank the turret, get the stun up. It's gonna be the barrier from Altec. He'll find one kill, heal up a little bit, but still ends up finding that kill on Annie. And Theak getting dangerously low will not die to the turret though. So that'll be the 1-for-1.
Ziggs ult.
Oh,
Ziggs ult.
No. Just barely misses.
Very, very close. Nice attempt made there. And Altec, I didn't see if he had dangerous game or had proc. I want to say that it did, and that was where a little bit of that health came back. It was either that or he like crit with the bloodthirster. But if he had survived that would have been pretty hilarious and pretty unfortunate for
No, it
Seven
was a level up. It was a level up.
Oh, it was a level up. Okay, there we go. But in either case, I think at this point they're going for such crazy plays because they know that unless they make something really drastically huge happen, I'm not going to say that they're not going to come back into this, but it's going to be really, really difficult for them to get themselves back into the game unless they make some crazy plays happen.
You know, with LeBlanc, you can make those happen when she does end up getting her DFG a little bit later on. She went for an Athene's Rush here, looking to mitigate some of that Bishu and Kez damage. Maybe even just Shyvana damage too on top of that. But Cloud9, 4-man group it up. They're looking to siege down this mid tier 2. Chain connects on Alex, but he just walks away, as well as Seiya. Bouncing bombs coming through. They want to dodge away from that trap. Seiya does not want to get caught underneath that one. But Theak looking for another engage here. Azul gonna get the stun of the Alex. They're focusing him down. He's not going to be able to click the lantern, and we'll just back off. Kite, pick up one. Kez picks up the second, and that'll be a 2 for none as Lyon cannot find their team fights.
Yeah, they're just not bringing it all together at the same time. They need Zach to be kind of on the periphery and dropping in with his elastic slingshot at the same time that Pantheon goes in. Basically, they need their engagement to be this giant cluster of chaos and madness that will create space for Seiya to come in on the side and try to pick off a target, or allow Ian to just kind of stand around and deal lots of damage on his Lucian. And so far they're not getting that because it's always just Pantheon going in, and the entirety of C9 can just stand back, use one of their skill shot CCs to lock him up, like a really nicely timed Cocoon or a really nicely timed Death Sentence, which is what we've seen on the last 2 ultimates. And then the rest of the team just brings the damage output and he goes down, and it's like, okay, now it's 4v5, let's do this.
And they just secured the first inhibitor of the game at 17.5 minutes, which is a very, very fast inhibitor. And they also have a rough 10,000 gold lead, a little less, but they're going to be able to keep skyrocketing that one. I think Cloud9 really, the only way they can lose this game is if they just threw themselves into the fountain. As it's what the way they're playing is very coordinated, very safe, countering at the Yak and not letting him get anything off, and Nerzul.
Yeah, Nerzul's had a really difficult time trying to get into range to get anything done. You see, he wants to get up towards a talisman. He's got the boots of mobility to help out with getting in position to drop down some timbers. And if he's able to finish up the talisman, that'll help a lot as well. But honestly, at this point, he's not really keeping up with levels. He's only 1 level behind the opposing support. But you look at the support versus the AD carries. Andy's level 8, and both AD carries are level 11. So the Andy just base natural damage output right now isn't necessarily that high, so it's going to be just the stun that she's useful for. And if she's not able to get into position, not able to drop the stuns onto multiple high priority targets, then she's not really going to get a whole lot done for her team.
And Annie that can't find a flash timbers is pretty much just a dead champion on the board. I don't have any other way to phrase that because it's just pretty much the brutal truth to Annie. Support at least. If you're not building her complete glass cannon, gonna blow you up build, you're pretty much just gonna look for
you're a stun bot.
Yeah,
you're a stun bot.
Stun bot, yeah.
And you'd better be damn good at being a stun bot, or else it's just not gonna be enough for your team.
Alright, and we're seeing the map pressure already swing in the favor of Cloud9 as they already rotate around. They actually didn't clear out that pink ward there, so that's going to sit there for a little bit longer. The tier 2 turret, though, in the meanwhile, will end up falling down here in this push. Bishu does find the kill on that one. Theak with the man drop available could look to start a fight. If they do not win this fight, they could just lose the game. The respawn timers aren't that long, but, Cloud9 with the super minions beating the turret in the top lane, in the mid lane, excuse me, and Lomination just shoving down this mid lane and top.
At this point now, Lomo Nation has so much physical damage that the pure MR build that's coming out from Porky is kind of hurting him a bit. Just because he's so far behind in gold, it's 85 CS now separating these 2 top laners. The Blade of the Ruin King is done. So just the amount of damage output that Lomo Nation is capable of is colossal. Here comes the man drop.
Oh, Timbers actually disconnected a Kez. Oh, they look for some magic damage into Seiya, but he gets blown up. There's the bomb and the pull onto Ian to find him. Dragon's Ascent picks up 1. Looks like Shyvana will pick up a second for a double kill. Looking for Seiya now, though. Pops the burnout. Blade of the Ruin King ignites. Ace in the hole on the fountain finds the kill. Altec will take that one, and now they're going to look to push to end the game here and make this a 20-minute game. They're like, oh, Kez DC for 10 minutes. We're gonna push down mid, guys. Go. Interrupted the slingshot midway. Flay him forward. He gets the let's bounce and finds the kill on the Bishu. He's gonna make his way out of the base. That's not gonna defend the Nexus. And the Nexus turret gonna fall. Porky's gonna get chased out. Altec's like, no, you killed my Bishu. I will chase you down. And now there's the second Nexus turret going in, as well as the Nexus falling very soon. GG's come through. Lyon knows it's over, and they will just let them finish clearing that one up.
Very nicely played here from Cloud9. They got the early advantage and they snowballed the lead. So much of that was from the bottom lane pressure that they were able to apply, taking down the tower extremely early and rotating. God, that was arguably the swaggiest culling I think I've ever seen. But just taking down that early tower, rotating, continuing to take down the towers, and they basically just built themselves a crap ton of winning lanes. Ziggs bullied out the LeBlanc early on, the Caitlyn Thresh bullied out bottom lane, and Lomo Nation was in complete control of top lane from wire to wire. And when all three lanes win, and the jungle's applying pressure and keeping the enemy jungler from doing anything about it, you win the game. Straight up.
Yeah, very true. So, we're going to be going into a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have the second game of tonight.
Yes, the second.
It's going to be
After the
Wolfro
first.
versus Curse Academy. Sorry, I was reading the page. The pamphlet, the NACL.
I blame
pamphlet.
DJ. I blame DJ.
It's all DJ's fault, actually.
I
That's
blame
the
DJ.
producer. Go tweet at him. But,
Hashtag
with
one
that-
job.
Yeah, hashtag one job. But with that, we go to commercial break. When we come back, me and Malphus are bringing you that game. So sit tight and enjoy.